Welcome back to Jenna doing things. Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to Jenna doing things. I'm giving you a warning now already that I'm probably gonna touch and shake my hair a lot because it's new. My roots aren't black anymore. Like, tell me what you think about my hair down below in the comments right now. Let's get right into our recap of The Real Housewives of Cape Town, episode 4. I think that this was a kind of a filler episode. It wasn't too exciting, but there was a lot happening actually. Much more. Like, I did a lot of notes today. After 2 episodes of thoroughly investigating this relationship between Thato and Muhammed and many accusations being thrown around about what kind of relationship they are in. Is it abusive? Is he obsessed with her? Has she made him that way because she's a cheating alcoholic? Like, what is going on? After all these rumors are swirling around, we get a scene with Thato and Muhammed and their son and his friends. I know I asked in the first, I think, recap, like, we saw a little bit of the scene and I wondered, like, who are these other kids in the car? But it's only her son's 2 friends, and they go to the movies. And in the car, this boy is just always embarrassing his mother, his poor mother. And he's like, "Mom, how much do you drink today?" And she's like, just a bottle, I'm testing, I'm a winemaker. And obviously he is highlighting, that he has a problem with her drinking that much. He also brought this up at the President Hotel. I think it was the first episode where we saw their little interaction, and he was then also criticizing her. So she gives him a gift here in the car in this scene to apologize for getting drunk at the President Hotel with them that day. We have another scene with a housewife and her kids as Camilla takes her kids to the Clay Café where she's been going for 30 years. And they talk about how her daughter had to really step in, like in a parenting role after Camilla's mom died. This is a very endearing moment, and I don't know how many people I've heard criticize her as a choice for a housewife, but I feel like her scenes are really genuine. She's like in little to no makeup here. She's dressed quite normally, and the kids are like open. They don't pretend for the cameras, and they seem quite comfortable in front of the cameras. Camilla actually gets a little bit emotional here, and she apologizes for not being present during that time as a parent after her parents died, because she said she was not present and she was neglecting her responsibilities a little bit, and she apologizes for that and very much thanks her daughter. Her kids say, "It's okay, we forgive you, we love you." Like, they're so cute, man. And her son Max says, "Should we have a hug?" And they're like, hug it out, and she's like, "Rosie," and she's like, "Yeah, I do hugs, but not right now." And they're so cute, man. They're a very genuine family, and I love anyone who talks shit about Camilla being on the show because she's old or whatever. She is, to me, the perfect housewife. She also mentioned to the kids here that she will be inviting the housewives to their holiday house in Clayton, and I wonder if this is the house that the housewives actually want to go to, because they're very interested. They brought up this sleepover for a very specific reason, because they want to see a house. So I'm wondering why she's inviting them to the house in Clayton. Next up, we meet up with Beverly at her restaurant, where she meets up with her divorce lawyer. She talks to him about wanting to write a book to tell her story, even if it just touches one person, this is such housewife thing to do. Like, I love to see it. And I love what she's wearing at the restaurant. She looks gorgeous with her little Chanel pin and her Louis V scarf. Like, I love the coordination. I hate the boots, but love what she's wearing here. I also hate her video diary look here. Like, the tan, she says here on this episode that she went to go get a tan, and I think maybe that's it. Like, maybe the tan is too fresh, but her tan is just way too orange in this moment. With her platinum blonde hair, like, it's almost silver, and like, up, like, the hair makes her look so old. And then she has this bright orange tan, like she's almost my color now, man, babe. As she sees her divorce lawyer off, she gets on a call to organize her friend's luxury yacht. But from the beginning, she says, the girls can get a little messy, so I'm only gonna do drinks, no food, to protect and respect my friend's property. And that causes some cack, obviously. Because how do you invite a bunch of women, South African women might I add, black colored women, to an event on a yacht, on the boat? I'm on a boat with no food. Hi, boy. No. Rooksie visits Loveline, and they are both in full, bright, colorful glam, and they look stunning. but it's not very natural. Like, it's reality TV and this just feels so curated. I don't know why I'm noticing that Loveline like is obsessed with sushi. She's always having sushi. Like on the boat she's gonna have sushi. Now she has a platter there. And I don't know, it just feels a little bit curated. Like I still want to see them like in no glam or less glam or just like not so outfit on point and like hectic makeup and like a new wig. And like when do we get to see them like in swirl coats? Because I just feel like people don't get this dressed up to go to other people's houses just to like talk. Like they are so uitgevat, like it doesn't feel real. So Rooksie debriefed her lunch with Thato with Loveline, and she said that when they ended the lunch, she took a lift home with Thato and Muhammed. And Thato seemed like really like, yes, no, it'll be fine. But when Muhammed greeted them, he greeted Rooksie as the lady who doesn't like him. And she was like, why would you say that? And he's like, no, but Beverly said that. And she's like, no ways, I don't even know this lady, but let me not give you context that she didn't give. And she explained to Muhammed that I didn't say I don't like you, I said I don't like what you are doing, I don't like your behavior, because it was reminding her of her abusive relationship with her ex. And she says to Loveline, you know what, tomorrow I'm gonna have to confront Beverly on that yacht, because she feels like they aren't that close and she didn't need to bring her up at all. Talking about Bev, we see her in the next scene and she was supposed to meet up with Rushtush, but she's MIA because Rush has COVID. So Beverly stops to get some flowers and drop it off, but Rush never gets back to her. She says next time she'll rather get the flowers delivered because she's not driving to the southern suburbs again in her Ferrari. Now what does the Ferrari have to do with anything, Beverly? And then in the most chaotic scene, Camilla invites Thato to like what I perceive to be as like spiritual yoga, but Thato thinks it's like physical, like exercise yoga, but she arrives with a bottle of wine and she's already a little bit buzzed, says Camilla. But I feel like this conversation, I don't know if like Camilla, really, she says, you know, from the first night I met you at Cabo, like I felt like there's something going on with you, like inner turmoil and stuff, and I'm really trying to get to the bottom of that. But like, where does this come from? These people like barely know each other. Like, was this you know, a little bit of set up from production? Because I feel like she just gets into it, but maybe Thato was also not in the right headspace for it because she's buzzed. But I just feel like Camilla just gets into it without even like giving her some, you know, warning. But Thato is just there promoting her alcohol, and even though Camilla doesn't drink, she's like, I feel like you can just take a sip and I really want to enjoy the wine. And she's like, no girl, we are going to do an activity today to get to the bottom of what is going on with you and your life. Thato feels ambushed. She doesn't receive it very well because in her mind they were going to do yoga, and now Camilla wants to do an exercise to discuss Thato's relationship and like the breakdown of her marriage. And she's just like, what is going on right now? So Camilla says, now like I say, she doesn't ease Thato into it, or maybe we just see this cut very weird because it seems like she just really jumps in and she suggests to Thato that the troubles in her relationship and the breakdown in her marriage and the infidelity is because of a fundamental breakdown in Thato as a person. And Thato is just like deflecting immediately, and she says, you know what, many women go through abuse and don't open up about it, but now I did. And you know, she's very defensive and is triggered by Camilla saying that you know, a leopard doesn't change his spots. And she's saying, oh, so are you saying that once a cheater, always a cheater? Like, I'm now always going to be a cheater. And she says, no, she was referring to, you know, people who are physically abusive, like, they like usually them like a recommitment in a marriage or whatever is something different. And she says, oh, but I thought that was like a generalization, like a general saying. And you can see that it's just getting very, very tense, and the way that I think Camilla thought that this conversation was going to happen is not the way that this happened. And I don't know if it was an attempt from Thato to cool down, but you just suddenly see her with a glass of wine and the conversation just really doesn't go anywhere. And Camilla says, you know what, I need to go. So before you leave here, blow out the candles. That's the end of the exercise. Back at the house, Loveline is like so worried about this. She brought it up earlier with Rooksie while they were debriefing the lunch with Thato, and now she's bringing it up again, just saying like, does this lady think we have kids? Like, why can't we have food? Like, I'm definitely taking another sushi plate. Like I told you guys earlier, she's like obsessed with sushi. In my mind, she's obsessed with sushi because like that's all she's always eating. And she says she doesn't care if we can't eat or not. Like, she's gonna go with a plate of sushi in her bag. She refuses to go hungry. I probably have like a 10-piece thing of things in my bag, but like, you cannot invite a person of color anywhere without providing food or like allowing us to bring our own, because we like to nibble and do things. It's like the fruit actually. On a side note, there's just two things I want to say here. There's a hole in Miss Loveline's face. Like, did she miss that, or did like the outfit is fab? Love the little dress. Very sexy, but it's very clear that there is one like stitch missing or something, so that there's a bigger hole than all the other holes. Like, I wouldn't have worn that. And also, she can't say yacht. I know that yacht is spelled similar to watch, but it's not pronounced the same. Like, it's not yacht, like it's yacht. I just like, she says it the whole time, and it's just like, I needed to say that it's yacht, but that's just the English teacher in me. So Rooksie finally arrives and she looks so gorgeous. She pulled together an outfit looking stunning in a white and gold like look with her cute little bag, and the three of them hop in the car with their sushi platter. And I think Rooksie also has food in her bag, so Lava is not the only one that has a problem with this no food thing, so you guys just know it's gonna be a thing. All the housewives arrive on the yacht, and the person who is late this time is the host herself, Beverly. She's the last to arrive, and for some reason, I mean like for no reason, she is accompanied or like escorted by her boyfriend, question mark? Like, there was no reason for this. Really. Listen, they have barely left the harbor and Loveline is already causing cack, and she's like, I'm hungry, I'm starving, and she pulls out the sushi platter, and it's just like, that is a sign for everyone to just start pulling out their food. And Beverly is just like instantly like so irritated, and she like throws a fit, and I don't know why she feels like, she said she feels like Thato is the instigator here, and it's like, she's not even. It's definitely Loveline who is causing the cuck. But she says when Thato took her Steers burger out of her bag and she gave Beverly so a look, she feels like she's being sabotaged by Thato to see how she's now going to react to them now, like having the food or whatever. And Beverly says, girls, you know, we also need to take off our shoes. And Loveline's like, really? Are you serious? And Camilla's like, yes, darling, you always take your shoes off on a yacht. And Beverly is just like so triggered. You see her get like so hot and bothered. Like, what do you fucking mean you guys are not wanting to take off your shoes and you guys are like showing me that you are going to eat? And she loses her shit. She's like, have some class, be a little classy. Yeah, and she goes downstairs to pour herself a drink, pull herself towards herself. And when she comes back, you know, the girls are still talking about the no food situation. And when she sits down, I don't know what Tato's saying, like, she starts to say something like, I know you told me before that we're gonna have no food, but how can you not provide for us, or something like that. And Beverly literally like nips her, and she's like, well, Thato, if you're so unhappy, we can turn the boat around and drop you off, if that will make you happy. And I'm like, I've been telling you guys for the last like recap or two that these two are not friends. Like, they are more frenemies than they are friends, or besties as they claimed in the first episode, because the tension here between them is so obvious. And when she says that, like, you know, we can drop you off if you're unhappy, Loveline's like, really? Can we do that? Like, can we do that? Really? And I just like laughed at that moment. And although I had always like judged Loveline in every recap, but I just want to say, like, I love her. She's cuck funny. As the conversation shifts, Loveline says to Thato, you know, on this boat right now, you are very different, Thato, to the person you were the other night at Coco. And she says, you know, I was drunk that time. And everyone kind of has a problem with this, especially Rooksie and Loveline. And they're like, if you are a grown woman, you can't make the grown-ass decision to drink, and then when you say shit that you wouldn't say usually, or when you actually have the courage to say what you actually are, feeling on the inside, then you blame it on alcohol. Like, that's just not a great thing to do. And then from then on, the conversation kind of splits because Rooksie pulls Beverly aside to now address this comment that she made to Muhammed, and the rest of the girls continue talking with Thato. Between Rooksie and Beverly, she's saying like, why did you bring up to Muhammed, why did you say what you did, that I don't like him? And she says, you made things very awkward, you and I don't know each other, so I don't want you to speak on behalf of me, and when you feel the need to do so, at least give context and say exactly what I said. And she said, you know what, can I tell you from my perspective what happened? She said she called Thato after Beverly now called Thato after Coco so far. So she didn't actually speak to Muhammad, she spoke to Thato, and she said, a lot of things went down last night, a lot of people were saying a lot of different things, because this is when Beverly is talking about when she says, Thato said something different to her that night. And she said, you're saying one thing to me, another thing to the group, and you're creating an impression in the group. And Beverly says, you know what, this is just a very one-sided story, and she doesn't feel like Muhammad has a chance to protect himself. He's not on display for all of us to be a fair judge. Thato has said and done things that have proven her to be the one in the wrong. And obviously she has shared a lot of that with Rooksie in the previous episode. So she said she just didn't want this one-sided thing to be. And what she said to Thato was not that Rooksie doesn't like Muhammad, but that he doesn't like how he makes her feel. And Rooksie says, that is exactly what I said. But then that means that the person who then relayed that message to Muhammad, Thato, did that incorrectly. I think that this is a very mature way of ironing things out. Like both Beverly and Rooksie have said here that you see how this miscommunication or incorrect relaying of the message to Muhammad could have now caused a big thing between Beverly and Rooksie. But what I will say is black women always get to be depicted or portrayed as angry, loud, and angry black woman, right? But Rooksie, I love the way she communicates. She is a beautiful communicator, and she has kept her cool in every single conversation that she has had. Difficult conversations with Thato at Coco so far, kind of hashing that out when they went to lunch in the previous episode. Then being called the woman that doesn't like Muhammad in the car, and then hashing it out with Beverly now. I love her communication. In other shows, this could have easily ended up in a big fight, glasses being broken, and I just love the way that the two of them sorted this out right there. And then you could immediately identify where maybe broken telephone happened. And the conversation actually gets rudely interrupted by the other conversation that's going on the yacht, which I feel like is so unnecessary. I don't know why Miss Leo takes the opportunity here to rehash that thing of Thato saying that she doesn't like, people, Nigerian men, or she doesn't like people dating Nigerian men. And it's just like, how many times are we gonna beat this dead horse? But they talk about it again, and it actually comes out that the friend who had told Thato that this happened, or that this conversation happened, or that this was alleged the night at Cabo, is the doctor that was sitting there that night and now on the boat. And she says, I just wanted Thato to clear her name because this was being said about her. And Loveline is saying, I'm trying to figure out why would Thato even say this, because I feel like I don't believe that she would say this because of her, sexual past. I wish I would have subtitles, because a lot of people were talking over each other. So it was hard to hear exactly what they were saying, especially when they were speaking fast. So honestly, please can we have subtitles? But Camilla, is the pillar of strength and the woman of wisdom, and she says, let me tell you all what is going on here. The two of you are obviously have this great thing happening to you, both on this platform, and she's indirectly, just talking about the show. And now someone jealous on the outside has now planted this lie to cause drama, to make you guys not like each other. And Loveline says, you know what, I agree. This is nonsense. This is a nonsense story. And, like Thato says, I've said this before, but this thing has been a lie from the beginning. And I'm glad they can squash this. But this is at the end of the episode, and Camilla says this in her video diaries. She says this is the beginning of the whirlwind. So I am really interested to see what happens in the next couple of episodes, because she says, I hope I can be like this pillar of strength for these women and guide them in these times, because I can see Camilla is like very above this stupid cuck that these people are fighting about. And I wonder if this rumor was maybe a plot from producers, you know, to cause some drama for the show. Who knows? But I'm glad they finally cleared up now. Like, let's move on from this whole fucking situation. On the next episode of The Real Housewives of Cape Town, we can look forward to Beverly being center of attention. She confronts Rushtush about missing out on her flowers, and she's like, I'm so tired of hearing about these fucking flowers. Rooksie and Loveline seemingly confront Thato about feeling like Beverly isn't really her friend. And she also seems to go at it with Loveline because of her supermarket sushi that she brought on the yacht. And Loveline's like, well, maybe I should have just brought Papa Nikusi and then you really could have been upset. I am so excited. I love to see it. I love for the drama. Let me know what you thought about this episode down below in the comments right now. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more videos like this, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for all of Jenna doing things. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.